어다 되는 디송도양 리버슌도 충랑 민내념도 님이자 취디바 사베강 너친 케기강월그 제당 리버충 제다 리버충 제다니 치진미용 말씀시 취디바 농와이 너친 강화 진도 대진도 준세 사베 리벨레강 지바라도 강화교배 대화 충제 라니기 치진미용 말씀시 취디바 농와이 붐첸 강화 대진도 준세 사베 가와이 덴라르도 따버린기로 저거 리송도 왔다 된 거네. 말아서 리직 룽아 이승기가 가레나 디바지 지 친제라 직에 가서 그렇다. 뭐다 진투바지네. 아니 겨바 지원이나 디바 제샤바데 양교 직 펠카 가야 된데 현도 전부 연구하래. 대마제 람림나라 디숭도 케비디파 지나양 미케바타 덴디디파 지고 사보지가 있나 좀 제 컨투다 지고 사보지 있나양 그 케바 인자 샤돔 지식이 인자 뭐다 진투기에서 지고 사보지네 참네 룸비디파 양날치스 미 룸부스인다 직토기 남주시다 때문에 되네 이 빌디아게다 어디 다성치면서 제디가라 네베 디린 디바 충주지만 없지만나 네베디 샤돔 마제 자샤되고라 베 디바데 삽치고 지고 사고 지루에 베 만나고 나서라 베야기 텔레비 디바 샤고 어떻게 되니 직 오늘 잡잡 접고레스
Continue with the reading on the same page, page 34, and middle of the page. And we should not do even the smallest wrong, thinking it will do no harm. For the accumulation of drops of water will gradually fill a large vessel. And don't think the little wrongs I have done will make no difference later. For just a single water drops gradually fill a large vessel, so ordinary beings become filled with wrongs collected little by little. Don't think the little virtues I have done will make no difference later, for just a single water drops gradually fill a large vessel, so the steadfast are filled with virtue collected little by little. So here the importance of having a sense of kind of the awareness and not neglecting even kind of the what mentioned here, kind of little wrongs, the small negative activities. And the point is, it is important, even little or small negative activities or wrong things, that we should be first of all identified, and then because through that identification comes the application of purification or confession or whatever that needs for fixing. So therefore, even the small wrongdoing, we shouldn't kind of neglecting it. Just same with the kind of small positive activities or virtuous thing. In the stages of path, again, Lamrim text we find saying such as for learned people, even a great negative act becomes very light, and for sort of for foolish, even small negative act becomes extremely kind of heavy. So what it means is for a learned scholar or for wise people, even if they created immense or big negative activities, they know how to fix it, by applying antidotes, purification, or confession. And therefore, even if they create a big negative activity or big wrong thing, they can fix it. But for on the other hand, for foolish, for people who don't know how to apply antidotes and how to fix it, even as smallest wrong or negative deeds can become very huge because not kind of applying antidotes and not fixing it. So it keeps kind of, as the topic that we are discussing, it keeps kind of multiplying.
지중망부지자야 연구하래. 사법을 정의 주순 창마상원이 지중차야 해요. 되게 양이 캔거고 여래스. 다뭐 그런 원이 이나 미디어 줄이자는시나 약소래. 지양이 개발해. 페르나 이기고네. 나셈 로타르와. 로타르도 지고 사쇼래. Teni nesemri lotale yang teni nesemri yang napsemri odusini jalboa 이기고는 지고 사실 로타 로타 수디가라 데라 가서거래 레균이 메버타에 타와 오다 근처 조선 메버타에 타와 안에 요발을 메발타와 알타와지다 아니 메발이 요알타와 타와 가지 니가 레고아래 도수지리가 보다 되게 벤지고 니가 지고 차자지 중도와 아니 룽아이 니데 아니 치마치마래 nga마 지지도와 소주가 세대 미르차바 세대 소주바 마진발라 번도벨 마진발레 번도벨 로바 임바 세대 수리가라 지고 사쇼도 소주 세대가 미르차바 세대가라 nga나니 베 니차에 그가라 мязо나 간제 소주비니 바키고래 미세비니 바키고래 아니 대다 그래야 좀 무슨 상마상이 안 찰거래 동물권이나 소주부터 지고 차래. 아니, 머진발렘 바스디가라, 젠 라베존데 제지, 다 도와이나 린당 창시 거래. 이제 린당 창을 가자 시거래. 린당 창 마찬이 일기 튕기 나는 갈대네 배 종하나 도야서지 마치 가서다 인자네 렘바이나 오다 구품 다 지가 구와데 다 중고래 제데 구이 디용고래 다텔라 람렘나라 지 양고 림바다면 손숨숨도 인자네 렘바 다텔 렘바 유에 렘바데 구와데라 구와나바 숨숨도 또 제거래 아니 다다디 아니 호염 지르갈라 개법네 개요 말 아니 같이 가서 미리 진대게 되는데 애는데 진짜 애는데 롱저이나 가는 호염스기 차고 어떻게 딜라야 땡기 주도 파메 주도 어떻게 땡기 집에나 양호함을 주고도 와 되게 경과 빼면서 대체 뭐래 내가 지금 그것도 누구이가라 누가기 윤데 마마마나 치마치마 양아 거다 오늘 보니 또 순도
how to differentiate little wrong from big wrong, or small negative activities to from big negative activities. The intensity we can look from many different kind of understanding. For example, differences purely on base of their own nature, and the another understanding would be the way the negative or positive activity is created. If it is created with all kind of three the elements in the preparation, actual act, and then conclusion, it becomes much heavier or much stronger or bigger. So when we look at the nature itself, we can look at just the list of, for example, 10 negative activities. From the 10 negative activities, 3 related to mental. The mental, 3 related to mental, beginning with the covetousness, and then harming others, and then finally wrong view or distorted view. For the mental, the first one is lightest, then second becomes more stronger, and then third is most intense. But that is opposite to the physical and verbal. For the physical and verbal, it starts with the most intense, then much lighter, then lightest. But in terms of mental, the first in terms of mental, first is the light, and then lighter, more kind of serious, then intense, and in terms of physical and verbal, it first starts with the most intense, then becomes light, and then lighter. So it is kind of reversed. So when we look at the negative, for example, the negative first one is, as we mentioned before, covetousness, and then second, harming other, and then third, wrong view or distorted view. The third one is considered as the most serious as compared to the second, and the second is more serious, more intense as compared to the first one. And under the distorted or wrong view, the concept or view such as not kind of believing or in the cause and effect, or not believing in the 3 object of refuge, or distortion such as things that exist saying that they don't exist, or you can reverse it, and even if they don't exist, you say that those exist. So these are all comes under distorted view. In terms of physical and verbal, for example, physical begins with the act of killing, and then a telling lie, and then sexual misconduct. These 3, the act of killing becomes most intense. Act of killing here specifically refers to killing of a human or almost becoming a human, and then second, stealing or taking what is not given. Here again, there are some specifics for example, in the text. It talks about in reference to the object. The object must be valuable in such an extent that if you take that object, one might end up in a prison. And then in the act of stealing, again, it depends on it categorizes into 3, as stealing by kind of secretly, stealing secretly, and second, stealing by using of force, and then third is stealing by kind of cheating, and then finally the sexual misconduct. The sexual misconduct is having a sexual intercourse other than one's spouses. Within the spouses, there are also kind of further specifics, such as sexual intercourse in front of the object of veneration, like in front of altar, or sexual intercourse in front of one's parents. These are also, to be more specific, considered as the sexual misconduct.
rudo ngone shegwa pe ke chim chi ani da zun chama ji zu ngai chan shi oda de ji de na ne zun sing de mi che da ne zun je ne ye de ku ne na ne ni so so ji to ba me na to ba ke song dong ba to to shi le na da de ngone ni ba chim mo de hali ni ba chim mo de oda 이 무슨 시대가 무슨 감자다 이상한데도 미쳐가는 순이 숨도 못 봐. 이게 네가 다지 최배타가 최배 인도도 전에게 아니 가마로도 최신은 도 미쳐가는 순시하게 내가 제가 여름 숨도 이번에 잡잡 맞으신 미제 강고 배자시다 아니 지 하나 가시가 되잖아 시디가라 현생 군에 가는 마시겠지 아니 담년 잘 생기시 아니 소소 마시게 될 바로 시기 연도 맞지 아니 두스제가 있나 빼사그리 오다 되게 지 내가 친구가 어디 미치가 내서 얘기는 참아시기 미 참고 연대는 미 빨라 딱 최사 된지 내주반다 아니 아마 우주바로 주신게야 자산보도 주신게야 되게 배미스가 아니 저번에 주신게야 what to see 망고로 그라 주신게라 what to 되게 가지 참바지 마참바잖아 주신게야 마참바도 참바서 있나 동게 그냥 제위 나는 그거 어다 되게 좀 참아 되는 지주대 젠 다 지주 시일 때라 또서 일라 말해야지 누구 알아 제가 참아나진 때니 왜 라침봉 차고 추어 차려 뭐거네 아니 마차스인데 아니 뒤 나야 전단에서 아니 뒤돼야 돼 뒤에 봐야 그래서 지나니 다 양식을 뒤차려 뭐거는 또 시제고 와다 제사 참마청 가서 용은 주순 참마장 지야 다 이거 보관해 지는 중 미도 관해 지는 중 아니 용은 주순 차상상은 니가 되지 유와 용은 주순 마찬 양 다 소지 예서지나 저속들이라 그래 저속들이 랑 제고 미 저나 밤 니가 보고 이 양지 세워 어떻게 이거 간지 미 소주 더비지나 방법 군용 미 소주를 군용하라 아니 타는 전문나다 가르치나 두루나다 가르치나다 즉 하저도 소왕가보다 학원이 이 치수 문제다 앞에 설득이나 저는 주좀 처방상 이 내받침 거래 와다 즉 바창만 배왕기 근데 군이 나네 아니 즉 무의식이 맞은 거라 더 있나 군론되지 아니 군론도 더 있나 양 무의식 맞추 무의식 주게요 맞아라 같이 양을 무의식 중앙이나 겨샤 샤바이나 양을 어떤 루시네 좀 중앙 주순 상상하고 상 맞은 거네 막 어느 수도 와 되게 된 거는 야무시 걔는 야버래 기술은 좀 세고도
And these are, specifics of about the nature of action. You'll find more detail in Lamrim stages of path. For example, we mentioned such as just for sexual intercourse, even within spouses, if it happens in front of altar or maybe your parents, it's considered as a misconduct. And going on to the third part, that is a verbal or speech. There are four negative of as beginning with the telling lie, and then second is divisive talk, third harsh word, and then fourth is sort of idle gossiping. Again, same as the physical. The first one is most intense, and then second is less intense, third much lighter, and then fourth is lightest. And here again, when we talk about telling a lie, not it doesn't refer to all kind of lie. Here it refers more to specific of pretending to be a spiritual teacher, such as maybe pretending to be having a spiritual realizations even one doesn't have. So for most likely, under this, the victim would be somebody who is sitting on the throne and giving a talk, and for those individuals, there's more likely of kind of creating this kind of negative act of speech. So if a spiritual teacher is giving a talk with the motivation of becoming famous, or maybe gaining a wealth or fame, or kind of showing off one's knowledge, then that becomes the telling lie here without having actually. And second, divisive talk. Again, this could be many different levels. Basically, it refers to causing a division between two individuals with a very good connection, and it depends at the highest level within the fully ordained Sangha members, and then causing a division between parents and children, causing a division between spouses, causing a division among good friends. So there are different levels. The third is a harsh word. Harsh word, as compared to the divisive talk, it's much lighter. What it usually does is it creates a feeling of disturbances to individual that you informed or that you express your harsh word. And then fourth of this speech is ideal gossiping. In ideal gossiping, again, it's being lattice, because it in itself it doesn't really kind of harm others, other than wastage of time. It's just kind of you engage in a gossiping without any meaning, and you are kind of wasting time in that kind of conversation. So that is how when we look at the nature of the negative activities, and then just looking at the nature, and then understanding which one is more intense and which one is more lighter. From the perspective of the another way of looking, as we mentioned before, the three kind of elements that is involved in to make it complete. The three elements being, first one is preparation, second the actual act, and then third is conclusion. So the negative activities that is created with the completion of all these three is considered as the most intense, most complete. But negative activities, in the absence of any of the part, if there's absence of one or two, as compared to the all three, considered as much lighter. So, for example, in act of killing, one also need to know that act of killing can be done completely without your own involvement. You can just kind of create this through somebody else, through a second individual. So in the act of killing, within the act of killing, how it becomes the level of intensity. Again, if you started with the strong intention or good intention of killing, and then there's the intention or preparation, and then actual act, you use whatever tool or weapons, such as maybe knife or poison, and then third, once you have used those weapons or a thing, then that individual that you targeted was died, and if you generate a strong sense of satisfaction, then that becomes completed, absolute and most intense. But however, if you generated a strong intention or motivation of killing somebody else, and then somehow in the process, you decided not to kill, of course that changes, and even if you killed, and then at the end of killing, if you generated a strong sense of regret, then the third part is missing, so that becomes, again, as compared to the complete, it becomes much lighter.
rāngla tīnchī chūngwa. Tēn pāmasena tseme jīp sōchē lē samāyinba tseme lē chāgwa. Rāchāngvāsana tseme lē chāgwa. Dīshābe kūla ngā sāngi tāchūma tseme lē chāgwa. Kāzana tēndi pāki zāchī chūngwa chāgwa chāgwa. Wata tīgide shēguaya. Tēn ngā jīnchība jīgyāng bēkāne ngā sō tīchūgīna. Wata tēndi rāngla tīn chīmbu yīndele. 아니 신기 진기게 제 이게 신인 진기 장당 때를 지수 마야라서 봐. 랑게 파마라 지수 마야라서 봐. 아니 라랑오니 팬카운지 지수 마다 소소 당연히 이제 지수 마야. 야 내게 진지 좀 거네. 에. 야 네가 지양 이렇게 봤대. 친구 잘 와. 되게 남제 된 시고 와. 이제 잠 많이 당오니 거기 누수치네. 리파샤지.
And the two that we mentioned before in terms of the nature of the negative activities and in terms of the three elements that is completed or not, and we can also understand the intensity based on the individual to whom you have created negative activities. For example, in related with the act of killing. It really, it depends a lot on who the individual that you are killing. For example, if that individual is your parent, then because parent being extremely kind of, grateful to yourself, it becomes, more sort of, the intense negative activity. And in fact, we find what we call immeasurable, kind of negative act. Under that also comes, hurting or drawing of lots from the enlightened beings. And this differences really comes out from we call basis, but comes from the individual that you kind of harmed, and you can apply same kind of understanding to the remaining negative activities. For example, using a harsh word, it depends on the receiver of the harsh word, if that is your parents or your, so it becomes much more intense as compared to somebody who is totally kind of stranger, has nothing to do with you. So, so those are the specifics that we need to know, and those specifics need to know by using our own kind of common sense and wisdom or intelligence.
Pana hindu ten minyon te sembe so tame sabindurula loncho ba namjang ti gutamje sa me kuja chaj sa ko ba yino se wato sungwa ta de ngone ji le maje ba mete ba samdang de gala maranju tumbang mu su den jan yo ma te tumbe sungi tumbe tembala 잘해야 되나? 맞죠? 레지 마사 노야 거나요 말. 나랑 좋다. 니 둘라 강사 왔다. 니 취시지 컴포트 고유돼야 롱저 가라. 리 차지. 마사가는 니는 좀 해야 말. 이제 가라. 인자불린 롱저에 나랑 좀 인자불린 녀긴지든 탐제 두야 레디 미치기다 싹 두야요 말와. 라랑기 투무 마인비 난자기비 데 롱저자기비 점불인데 롱저베 레지 인짐시 사거래 데 마사나 아니 점불인데 엔베 유메도 타그레 스데 공타는 같이 군인 자한제바기 아니 군시 이치는 수로 오다 되게 되래 나한테 레 마치다가 근처에요 말 나한테 루스치지 뭐시 차야 돼 했나 존디나 계산 만다거나 기회 그런 것도 순점에다 가서 무슨 점에지 겨우 마마기 레시사 다들 그디 살잖아. 전된데 근데 냐지 주인도 마도 된다와디 맞아 솔직히 아 근데 이 멘데니 간사지기 주인 말에 어떤 도시인데가 되게 돼 뭐네 두삼 낼리 마치가 미쳐 봐세요 아니 레디 젠로드가라 아니 우리야 가 토르도와 어떤 도시에 되게 뭐 맞아요 개치 뭐래
And then what we mentioned before can also apply to the the positive activities, the intensity of the positive activities that we created, based on the nature or three elements or the basis. Moving on to the third point of this section, not having to face the consequences of actions you have not done. That's on page 35. So also it is kind of definite that you won't experience the result if you have not created this, the action, or if you have not planted the seed. There is no way that you can have the fruit. If you have not accumulated an action, whether it would give rise to pleasure or pain, you will not experience its consequence. Those who enjoy the fruits of the infinite merits accumulated by the teacher do not have to collect all their causes, but they must at least do their part. As mentioned here, this you will only experience the karmic action only that is constructed or accumulated or planted, not otherwise. And in order to again sort of receive teachings, one doesn't have to create entire karmic action just like enlightened being does, but coming here and listening to teachings and having access to teachings, it is must that you have from your side planted some seed that makes this kind of experience happen. And likewise, taking kind of birth in this world, it happens because of your own karmic action that you have planted before, and therefore you are taking somehow part in this big world, and for that you doesn't necessarily has to kind of created a lot of karmic actions of many other things, but it happens because of your own karmic action, and otherwise it becomes kind of the entire world becomes the result of something totally causeless, as mentioned in the documents of Mind Basis of All by Kunchen Javan Shepa. And we gathering here of like us, also this is considered as the although we came from different backgrounds, born in different places, but coming into a same place and therefore engaging in kind of teachings or discussions, we must have it is because of one's own individual's kind of karma that has make this happen. But if you ask us specifics, when and how and is this particular seed was planted, then we consider that is the unstable only by enlightened beings, extremely subtle to ordinary people. But at the same time, once we sort of finished or get over with the karmic action, then likewise the result will be there is end of that kind of action. So we'll stop here for today. Ave kove shingam de pendam de wo ma le jong we ne Chere Zewa Tenzin Gyazo Shabe Zede Bado Denjoji Chamba Pao Jitra Kemba Kondo Sambo Dehan Dejin Deda Kungi Jesu Dalo Gyawa Deda Tamje Rabdu Ngo Tusum Shabe Gyawa Tamje Gi Ngo Wa Kangla Chodo Ngam Dajin Gebe Zawa Digun Ya Sambo Chunje Rabdu Ngo Wa Ki in the land and circumambulation of what mountains, the source of all happiness and benefits, flows in your person, generously, Tenzin Gyatso, remain until samsara ends, just as the Bodhisattva Manjushri attain omniscience and Samandava to do. So now I dedicate these merits to train and follow in their footsteps, as all the virtuous Buddhas of past, present, and future praise dedication to the Supreme. So now I do dedicate this source of my merit for all beings to perfect good actions.